What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones, and I'm here with my man, the man, the Mr. Legend, Mr. Ray Roberts. Ray, how you doing, sir?
Good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm mad I can't find my original camera, so my camera looks crazy right now. But the show must go on, right? Show must go on. We're on a little bit later tonight, but that's fine as well. But I'm excited to talk about this because we got some good news. And we got some bad news, and the bad news is pretty bad. The bad news is pretty bad. But Ray, how was your college football weekend?
It was good. I'm really busy at work right now, so I had to watch as much as I could, which wasn't a whole lot, to be honest with you. But it was good. It was anytime I get to sit there and watch some college football, it's always a good day. So
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best weekend. I mean, it was very predictable. I mean, we'll get into that in a second. But as far as how, having some football in there, it was great. It was a good kind of warm-up kind of week. And this weekend is going to be major. I mean, it's not like world-blowing kind of games, but it's good games that we can all have fun with and, watch with this. But before we get to next week, let's talk about week 0. Again, me and Ray was talking about this last week, is that it didn't have a lot of good games. Like, just to be real, it didn't have a lot of good games. But it's one game in particular I do want to talk about. And then we will talk about our records. Then we're going to review next week. So let's talk about this one game because it's been the talk of the weekend. And that is the Nebraska versus Northwestern team. I mean, Ray, first and foremost, both of us had, and before we start, we have a week 0 should be canceled. I believe that's Remy. Thank you guys for being in here. As you see from our user down there, you can put in your live comments in here. We will put it on the screen and talk about it. But let's talk about this Nebraska game because both of us had Nebraska winning. They just lost, but it was some funny weirdness going on with that game. Mr. Scott Frost, you don't know who that is the head coach of Nebraska. I believe this is his first year on the team. Made some very, very questionable calls. And Scott Frost is 4 weeks away from being unemployed. Yes, they're coming for that man's head already. Ray, let's talk about the game. First and foremost, what is your total outlook of the whole game?
Well, I think first off, they were favored by 13 in the game. Mm-hmm. It actually went up to almost 14 before the game started. They had a couple decent leads, and like we were talking about a couple minutes ago, like they pretty much led throughout the game until when it mattered. And I don't like calling for a coach to get fired after 1 week, but man, that was a big game. And we should have known Pat Fitzgerald was a good coach. He had his team ready to play, and they played well,
Yeah, we've been talking about Northwestern for a while. They got very good coaching. The players are not the most athletic, but they're usually very smart players. But if you're a team that's usually very smart, you will think you want to do some smart plays. And I think Scott Frost definitely overthought some plays on there. He's been there for 3 years now. Okay, very disappointing. Yeah, I can see why they calling for his head now. But I mean, dude, let's just talk about this. You're up 13-3, and you do an onside kick. Last time I seen this was at the Super Bowl with the Saints and the Colts, and yes, it did work for the Saints. But imagine that play not working out for the Saints when they was up with the Saints. So it's the same deal here with Nebraska doing it. It didn't work out for them. And then Northwestern came back. Although Nebraska was still up after that, and he kept the lead for a while, like Ray said. But Northwestern started coming back very, very slowly. Ray, what is your take on that play? Fitzgerald was a great defensive mind. I do agree.
He is very good coach. I think that he acted like he was the underdog in the game. Basically, that's a move you do when you're the underdog, when you're trying to keep the ball, and he overreacted to nothing, basically.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know I compared it to the play in the Super Bowl, but the play in the Super Bowl made sense. You had a Hall of Fame quarterback on the other side of the field. You trying to get as many possessions as you can. There's nobody like that on the Northwestern, and you're already up 13. Like, why not just keep the pedal to the ground and just keep playing? You know, you're already outbeating them. Why give them that momentum, right?
It didn't make any sense when it happened. It definitely don't make sense now. So, you know.
Trying to make sense of it. It was a very egregious play. I can see why fans are coming at his neck now. I agree with you, Ray.
There were some people saying that Wisconsin may have been like a sleeper team for the conference this year.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's not going to happen now. So he already blew that. So
that's going. Yeah, that's out the water.
I mean, you can't lose games. You can't lose games in your conference
in that fashion. At that. Like, correct. It's one thing to lose in your conference. It's one thing to, like, we got to remember, too, the NCAA, especially for these rankings and everything like that, it's style points, too. It's not just winning or losing. It is definitely style points that go into it. So,
no doubt about that.
It's interesting to see how that came up, and he decided to make that play, and it just did not work at all. So, that's going to be interesting how this plays out for Nebraska and Scott Frost, man. I mean, I don't wish anybody get fired, especially after the first game, but he definitely got to step his game up. Maybe this might be the thing that help him out. Maybe this might be the thing to be like, do I really need to, you know, let my coordinators call plays or something, or, you know, I really need to tighten down on what we do, because that was a bad decision. It was.
How about when you're the more talented team, you play like you're the more talented team, and not like you're afraid.
Yeah, no, for real. No, I 100% agree, Ray. 100% agree. Chris, what's going on? Thanks for being on. I should have never left USC. I have my. I'm like that with that.
Well, yeah, that's a great point though, because it's easy to be a big fish in a small pond than the other way around, man. You know,
yeah.
Like now he's coaching with the big boys, and he acted like he was afraid, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't get it, but it happens. So, you know.
Oh yeah, that was real bad. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes. And we'll see how. I mean, we'll see if he can recover from this, because it's going to be a tough battle to come back from. So
it is
definitely. All right, let's get to our next topic. We got another comment real quick. He's feeling the pressure and it's getting to him. It's clear. Yeah, I mean, listen to the press conferences. Listen to see how everything's going this week. I mean, it again. I don't want this to happen. I hate to wish anybody that their game or they get fired from their jobs, but it's like, man, you looking like you're feeling the pressure. You're definitely feeling pressure. So hopefully that he recovers from it. So, all right, let's get to our next topic. And we're going to talk about our predictions, because last week we did some predictions, and for the first time, hold on, the guy who led the Fire Harry campaign isn't the one. Hush, Chris. I will say I have to give Howie Roseman his flowers. I do. I'll do that publicly. Maybe I'll do it on the next Air It Out podcast, which is our NFL podcast. If you guys haven't seen that, make sure to check it out.
What did Howie Roseman do?
Howie Roseman made some good trades this last 2 days. Getting Chauncey Gardner Jr. Chauncey Gardner Johnson, sorry, and trading Jalen Reagor.
Who did you trade Reagor for? I didn't even know that.
They traded him today. They gave him to Minnesota for a 5th and 6th round pick, and the fifth.
So we
round
got
pick.
a fifth and a sixth round pick for a first round pick. Great move, buddy. Ooh, that's impressive.
It's better than nothing. It's better than just releasing them. So I mean, hey.
How about if you don't ever draft him to begin with?
I give you that.
Yeah, man, you're talking about the. I'm still looking at Noah Igbenogany trying to get him on the field, and he's like, kids lost. So.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's painful to think about it, and it's funny because both of those draft picks that Hobby just traded to teams to went to the teams that had the player that we were supposed to get. So, AJ Arcega-Whiteside went to the Seahawks, and Rager went to the Vikings. It's kind of funny. All right, let's talk about last week's rankings because we have a first time ever ranking. I, for the first time in RPO history, am leading the rankings, the prediction rankings. So I am 9-2. Ray is 8-3. I had to put it up there, Ray, because it was the only game that we had different. I got it right. I got it right for once. So I am the first time. Ray, this is monumental because out of what? It had to be at least 60 games. It's the first time I'm leading. So I feel kind of glad about this. I don't know how long it's going to last. It's only one game lead, but I'm feeling good right now.
Yes. I'm glad.
Thank you. So that was the Andrew P versus West Kentucky game. I took West Kentucky. Ray took Andrew P. I believe it was a close game, if I'm not mistaken.
It was fairly close. It actually wasn't that close. It was
38-27. Actually, it wasn't that close.
Yeah, it wasn't that close. So man, I thought Austin P would play better. They didn't. It didn't happen. It's 1 week, one game. I should pay more attention to the spread in that one, and I didn't. So,
by the way, Ray, you're the enemy this weekend.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about that later. But I want to know. I'm glad Chris is listening. What does Chris think about the point spread in the game?
Oh yeah, we're going to definitely talk about that. We are definitely talking about that because. We touched on it a little bit last week. So if you haven't seen our podcast last week, definitely go check it out, especially for your Ohio State fans. I see both of you guys in here right now.
And it's going up since last week, too. So, it went up since last week.
It did?
It started at 14.5. Now it's 17.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it did, didn't it? Man, that's insane. That's insane. We're definitely going to talk about that.
It's how it is. People hate Catholics. What are you going
to do? That's funny. Point spread is a bit high for a 2 versus 5.
Agreed. That's my only thing.
I agree.
Notre Dame is a bad team, and they were ranked 15th. I think I got it. Number 2 team ranked against a number 5 team. And the spread is 17 points. Wow. And, man, we always talk about Ohio State doesn't rebuild. They reload every year. I got that. They're a good team. I understand that. But 17 points, if Notre Dame loses that game by 17 points, I might as well just stay in the bathroom all year. My season's over.
Yeah. And Marcus Freeman's feeling the disrespect, man. He's been talking this week.
Oh, no, that's going to be great. I can't wait.
It's going to be interesting.
I can't.
I know. Oh, I know, Ray. And we're going to definitely talk about it. But speaking of another team that have been talking, let's get to this West Virginia versus Pitt game because those Pitt players are over there talking a little bit. I see on Twitter and everything. They are the 7.5 favorites right now. They are home. They're ranked 17. They're playing West Virginia. Ray, let's get our predictions in right now. Who you got for this one?
I got to take Pitt. I got to take their defense is good. Offensive line is still solid. We'll see about their quarterback. They did lose their quarterback this past season, but if they're still a 7-point favorite, I'll go with them.
No, I agree. I'm going to pick Pitt as well, simply because, and although I definitely I want West Virginia to do well, I definitely root for their coach. Name I'm blanking on right now, but Neil Brown. There you go, Neil Brown. I definitely root for him. I hope he does well, but this is going to be a tough game for him, I think. Why it's not working? I'm trying to get your comment in, and okay. I can't win either. Okay.
Oh well, I'm sure. If I'm a Ohio State fan, I'm
spread. But yeah, I'm gonna take Pitt as well. West Virginia they lost Levy Brown, which I thought was a really good running back for them. He actually just got cut, and I think he's gonna be I believe he got picked up on the practice squad actually, but he just got cut. A guy I really thought was gonna be really good. At least in the NFL, maybe he needs some years to develop there, but they don't have their best running back. The quarterback is JT Daniel. We'll see how he plays. Yeah. Receivers are okay. Defense is the best thing about West Virginia. But I still think Pitt is a little bit better on offense, even though they lost their quarterback. They lost their number one wide receiver as well. So we'll definitely see how that works out. I do think Pitt is the better team, though, right?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's get to our next one. We got Penn State versus Purdue. Last time I checked, if I'm not mistaken, the point spread is very, very close, actually. Purdue is home.
Penn State's favored by 3.
I have 3.5.
Yeah,
I have 3.5. Ray, who you taking here?
I'm taking Penn State.
Okay. Listen, they don't call Purdue the spoiler makers for no reason, because that's what they do. They spoil games. That don't mean I'm picking them. That don't mean I'm picking them. But
I was just ready to write that down, man.
I saw your face. I'm not picking them, but be careful watching this game because, again, Purdue I don't know why they play up to their competition. It might be one of those games that might scare you a little bit, which might be the reason why the point spread is the way it is, and it's not that high. Penn State, I think, is going to go through some growing pains this year. I still think they're a very good team still, where they can, maybe only lose 2, maybe 3 games this year. But I'm picking Penn State as well, right?
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm not sure.
Okay.
What did you say, Ray?
You threw me for a loop there, but I'm okay.
I did. Remy says I'm not sure which way I'll go Penn State versus Purdue. Not sure.
Remember also, Purdue is home, so that's a 3 right there. So basically, Penn State's kind of favored by like 6. So
yeah, I'm okay with the spread. This is one of the better spreads this year.
I like it. I mean, unless you go into there are some obscene point spreads this week, which I don't like at all. But I mean, I do like close games, so we'll see what happens.
Definitely. All right, let's get to our next game: Indiana versus Illinois. Ray, this is the game that we talked about last week because we say, hey, if Illinois actually win this game, that game versus Indiana next week might be a pretty good game, and they did win. And the spread is 1.5 for Indiana, who is home. So it's very close, actually.
I'm going to take Illinois, even though they took care of business last week against Wyoming, but Wyoming is a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
A really, really bad team. So
correct. This is such a pick 'em for me, Ray. I think I'm gonna go Illinois as well. There's a reason why the spread is the way it is.
You got that 1 game lead, and from now you're gonna just pick with me. This way you win.
No. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to do that. Trust me, Ray.
All right.
But I am gonna say that Illinois. We said last week. if they win that game, this is going to be one of the better games, better matchup, and better closely compared games on this list. And I'm very torn with it, honestly, Ray. But I'm not trying to just follow you. Trust me.
Well, Indiana's at home.
Yeah.
And they're only a 2-point favorite. I think Illinois is a little bit of a better team. So I'll take Illinois, So.
I agree. And they don't have Penix, which is that was the reason why I was liking them a lot that last year until like the end of the year, obviously, when I realized they wasn't that good. But they have Penix and they don't have him now. So it's like I don't know what to expect with Indiana. And that's like one of my biggest reasons why I'm picking Illinois over Indiana. Mm-hmm. So I think their defense will still be solid, though.
I think Illinois is a good team. They're pretty athletic. I mean, they didn't have any competition this week to evaluate them with. But I think they're still a little bit of a better team. So
definitely. All right, next game we're gonna go USC versus Appalachian State. I have UNC favored by 1.5. They are away. Appalachian State is home. USC did win their first game last week. Nothing to be overly excited about. It wasn't a great team they played. Ray, who you got in this one? This is another close game.
This is a tough game for me, man, because it is a North Carolina is favored by 1.5, and they're the away team. But you know what? I'm a Mac Brown fan. I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to take Appalachian State.
Oh, Ray, I'm glad you did that because I was just thinking the same thing. I'm so glad you did that. Now I really look like I'm copying you now. Maybe I need to make the picks first. But no, I agree.
Well, we always talk about App State, man. They play good football.
They do. They do. They play good football. UNC is a huge question mark this year.
They are. They play Florida A&M, and they took care of business. But if you watch the game, which I didn't watch the game, but I watched some of the game film from the game, and North Carolina did not play that well.
No, they didn't. They look like they should have been probably ranked with that Florida A&M.
I just didn't. I didn't think that they played well. I think Florida A&M turned the ball over a few times, way too many times, and that kind of did them in the end. So.
No, I 100% agree. All right, Ray, let's get to our next game. I think you like this game, Ray. Cincinnati versus two ranked teams, 19 versus 23. Arkansas is favored by 6.5, and also are at home. So it's another tight spread there. Who you taking there, Ray?
I'm taking Arkansas, man.
Oh, Ray, stop.
No, I just think again they're at home. They're favored by 6.5. Cincinnati lost a lot of players last year.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the coach, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for that to happen and your first game is against a really good ranked team that likes to run the ball.
Yeah.
That's tough. I mean, I was hoping you went Cincinnati because I know how much you like their coach there, Ray. But no, I 100% agree with you. I'll be very scarce too. Remy says Arkansas too. I agree with that. I do. I just can't see them bouncing back from losing so many pieces that fast against a great team.
Yeah, man, we talked about this all the time. Cincinnati is a well-coached team.
Correct.
But they are a team that has to reload. They can't they're not going to be that team. They're just not. They're not going to be good every year. They're going to, and I think they'll be solid this year, but they're not going to be anywhere near as good as they were last year. So,
definitely. All right, let's go to our next game. Now, this game is not a good spread to be really talking about, but it's two ranked teams, so figure I threw it in here. We got Georgia versus Oregon. They will be in Atlanta, so they're going to be like 20 minutes from me at the Mercedes-Benz playing this game. I wish I was going and cannot get tickets for this game for nothing. No tickets for
really.
And they're expensive. They still have some. They're very expensive.
I'm going to go Georgia here. So,
Yeah, I'm reluctantly trying to do Georgia, honestly, with this one because, again, same thing with Cincinnati. They lost a lot of pieces, but they do have a lot of good guys still there. Oregon's a good organization. I think they're going to make this a actually closer game that is purported. And I don't like that 17 spread. I really don't. I will make this a closer game, Ray. In my opinion, at least.
I absolutely would too. I think that Oregon can usually score points. I don't, we talk about like Georgia. They are one of them teams that like they're going to play good defense. So
yeah, I think this is one of those games that everyone thinks is a good game. I think this is one of the games that it's going to probably come down to the defense. Obviously, somebody like Nolan Smith get the last sack or something, sack fumble or something like that, and that's how that game will end. I think this is going to be, again, like I said, a lot closer than that 17-point spread. That 17-point spread is kind of disrespectful, to be honest, especially not knowing how Georgia's going to operate with all the new pieces.
Here's the thing that you remember.
I get it, though. They're national champions. They're at home, essentially.
Oregon has a new coaching staff, which is also a factor in the game. So
that's true. That's true. I think Georgia would take over in the third and fourth quarter and pull away by 2 touchdowns.
Agreed.
I agree with the pulling away. I don't agree with the point spread still, because
what though? Here's the thing: if you go, I think they'll win by 10.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I don't like the 17 though.
I never like double-digit teams unless you're playing somebody who's really poor. And I don't think Oregon's a bad team. I don't know about their coaching staff and how good that's going to look yet. So we'll see.
Definitely. All right, let's get to our next game. Army versus Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is home. They're favored by 2. Right? Who's taking this one?
I'm taking Army in that game, man.
All right, we're in indifference. Nice. We finally got there. We finally here. Ray, I don't disagree. I don't hate your pick though. I will say that simply because Army is a really good team. They showed a lot last year, and they have a lot of returning guys. Defense is definitely going to be a thing. I think that this game is going to come down to the fact that Coastal Carolina has a really good quarterback and Grayson McCall, and I think that he's going to take over this game. I really do think so.
I like the call about the quarterback, but I think Army will run the ball and keep the ball away from their offense.
But that's the thing. I think Coastal Carolina still has a really good defense. That's the thing.
I think their defensive backfield is better than their front, though.
I agree. That they lost a lot on the front, for real. They did.
Yep.
They did. I feel like that's like their strong point in their recruiting, though, because they had some good, like, if you look at the last, 2-3 years, each year they had somebody go to the NFL on that defensive line.
They do.
One of which is on the and just made the roster. So,
yeah. I mean, again, I appreciate Coastal Carolina. I just don't. If it's going to be a close game, I like taking teams that run the ball, and Army usually runs the ball well. So I
get that. Also, Coastal Carolina is our home too, so
they are. They're only 2-point favorite. So I mean, kind of it can go either way. I figured I know you like Coastal Carolina, so I took Army.
You did it. You funny, right? I do like Coastal Carolina. And it's no mistake about that.
I know you do.
I do, but I'm not trying to put my bias into this. I do think that Coastal Carolina will be better on defense. I do agree with you. Army's going to run the crap out of this team. So
they're going to try.
They're going to try, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think their quarterback's not that bad, though. I forgot his name, right?
For Army?
Remember the quarterback's name?
No. I hate when you just that's
Downplay. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being in here. Thanks for checking us out on our live stream. I know you missed our last live, so thank you for coming in. He said Houston. Houston, do we have that on our list? No, we don't have Houston. Let's talk Houston real quick for Don. Houston versus UTSA. Who you got, Ray?
Let me look for the line here, Jerome.
Well, according to Don, it's a 4.5 spread. Let me see what I got And again, I'm using CBS. Ray used
Houston
some
is
other.
favored by 4 points. I would take Houston.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going Houston as well. I'm trying to find a game myself. See
Only
if our
because they're
spread
favored
lines
by
up.
4 and they're the away team. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Let's see. I don't see Houston yet. Oh, here it is. Yes. Houston. I'm taking Houston as well. They are the ranked team as well. And the spread is I have Houston by a solid 4. Not
I have
4.5.
4 also. Yep.
Yeah. Don said you guys are great. Thank you, Don. We do appreciate you being on, man. Thank you for everything. Let's get to our next one, Ray. Southern Mississippi versus Liberty. I believe I lost my spot, but I believe Liberty is favored by 3. I think it was. Ray, who taking in that one?
Trying to see. Liberty is.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it myself.
I'm trying to find the game here.
Liberty is favored by 3.5. Sorry.
I'm going to take Liberty.
Southern Miss is home though.
I'll take Liberty.
Yeah, I'm taking Liberty as well. Quarterback position obviously is the thing. Don actually just asked about that too. That's funny. Yeah, that's the one we're going on with now. I'm thinking, oh man, that was hard because the quarterback position is a question mark for me. I don't know Liberty's quarterback well enough to be confident in him. I think I'm gonna give it to him just because they're a very good, well-coached team. They are favored and they're not home. I'm gonna give it to them, but this might be one of those games where you might want to be careful with.
Oh, you know what? We didn't think of it. They have Charlie Brewer now as their quarterback.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, I'm giving it to them.
Yeah, well, of course, they have
Not that Charlie Brewer is a huge world breaker, but I mean,
he's a competent quarterback, though.
Yeah, especially for the college football game. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get to our next one. This one's gonna be pretty good. Florida versus Utah. You might as well just pin mine in because you know who I'm gonna pick.
Jerome, now you're killing me, dude, because I'm taking Utah also.
Oh no. Utah is favored by 3. They're away. They're the 7th ranked team.
Better defense,
definitely
better running game.
Oh, definitely. And I do trust in Rising. I do trust him. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback, like NFL type. Maybe a late. Maybe you can draft him later. We'll see how this year plays out. So I don't like to give grades this early either, especially with quarterbacks. But I think that like you said, Utah's defense is a lot better. Florida is definitely an intriguing team, though. Don't get me wrong. The prospect of Anthony Richardson, very dynamic and going to be a really good college football quarterback. We'll see what he does in the NFL, but that's going to be very intriguing to see how he does handle a tough defense right away. Mm-hmm. Utah is although they lost their humble leader and Devin Lloyd, a guy that I loved coming out of college, but I still think they got a really good defense outside of him. We'll see. I mean, I think this is going to be one of those funny games to watch. It might be as close as they talking about here. I think Utah got it though.
I think that Utah is a sleeper for maybe stumbling into being involved in the playoff proceeding at the end of the year, to be honest with you. I love their defense. I think that they're one of them teams that like they kind of recoup every year or reload on defense every year.
Yeah.
Have an established tradition now of being a good defensive team. And I like defensive teams. So we'll see.
Yeah, and it's crazy because when you hear about like the recruiting classes, stuff like that, you never hear about Utah until they get on the field. Like, oh wow, they actually pretty good. Like, where this guy come from? This guy's a 3-star. This guy's a 2-star. And it's just fun how they operate with the mid star kind of players.
To be honest, I love the recruiting part of college football.
Correct.
But I don't get too involved with 3-star, 4-star. I mean, I pay attention to it, but I don't hold it like it's gospel. I don't it's written in ink, man. It's not like
correct.
How many times a year do you see a 3-star guy who's better than a 4-star? It happens all the time.
Hey, you know what Russell Wilson was, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah, right. Russell Wilson was not even rated as a top 250 player when he came in.
He wasn't.
Which is crazy when you think about it now.
Yeah, he wasn't. It's crazy. Yeah, and I got to learn to kind of like keep myself out of that too, because I wasn't like you say, Ray, I wasn't really into the stars. But when you go to the states like Georgia, that's all they talk about, stars down here. So it's like,
honestly, if you pay attention to recruiting for any team, that's all they talk about. But it's like,
yeah,
I understand. I got it. But who's ranking these kids? Everybody has their own way of ranking them.
Yeah.
We talked, I think, last week or the week before about how guys that haven't done anything wrong are dropping like a rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to be prejudiced or like I'm upset or nothing. If you want to watch a guy drop like a rock, wait till he is commits to Notre Dame. Them guys seem to drop. As soon as they commit to Notre Dame, they drop. No matter what they've done or what they're going to do. Again, people hate Catholics. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Yeah.
That's a conversation for another podcast.
It is, but it's true. So, I've grown up in my whole life, like I was raised Catholic. I don't preach Catholic religion. I don't preach religion at all. I have my beliefs and I have my I'm not comfortable talking about, religion. So,
No, I hear you. All right. Speaking of those Catholics, we're going to get into their game. Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Now, I think our guys left us if they're not in here no more. I don't know why they left. The Ohio State guys must not want that smoke, Ray. They want the smoke from you, Ray. But Ohio State is by 17 points, being the fifth, number 5, and versus number 2 versus number 5.
First on this game, Jerome.
What you say, Ray?
I want you to pick this game first.
Don't do that to me.
I'm going to lob one back into your side of the court here, man. Come on.
So,
Jerome, I'm a Notre Dame fan, and there's only one way you can pick this game to go. We're not talking about lines. We're talking about who's going to win the game.
I teased it down to 5.7. You're a smart man, Dylan. You are. This is one of those games where it's just hard for me not to.
It's not hard because you want Ohio State to lose so badly.
I do. I
talked to a decent amount of Ohio State fans, which and I know a decent amount of Michigan fans. And everybody is a Notre Dame fan this week, except for the Ohio State fans.
Yes. No, I agree. No, this is the thing, though, too, right? And this is the part that I'm torn on because, yes, the bias of me not liking Ohio State, you guys know I'm a Michigan fan. The thing is, though, is that Ohio State has a lot of good receivers. Don't get me wrong. But his receivers don't have a lot of experience outside of Smith.
But here's the caveat for that, though. The one spot where Notre Dame is weak is defensive back.
And that's the part I was just about to say.
Even though they do have Game Hart, who's a good player.
Yeah.
And they got to transfer defensive safety from Northwestern. So I think they're going to be better in their defensive backfield than some people think. But I still can't sit here and claim that I'm a college football person and take anybody but Ohio State to win the game. I mean,
yeah, that's the hard. And again, it's hard for me to say Ohio State. But the thing too is that people are not thinking about this enough, I think, and this is why I don't like that spread because I still don't trust Ohio State's defense. Ohio State's defense was historically bad last year.
I agree with that. I do. I really agree with that. But I like Tyler Buckner, Notre Dame's quarterback, but until I see him do it consistently on the field, I can't predict he's going to be Ohio State. I just can't do it. So.
I hear that. Yeah. So we're both going the same way, reluctantly, but we're both going the same way. But that spread is horrible. I don't like that spread at all. I really don't.
I think Notre Dame will keep it within a touchdown or so. I do.
Yeah.
But I can't realistically. If the game was in Notre Dame, I would think about taking them. But I can't, not when they're on the road. Prime time, 8 o'clock. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a great time. And I will be hoping to God that I'm wrong, basically.
I hope we're wrong too, Ray. I really do. I really do. I do not want to see that happen. All right.
Here's the crazy thing about it, though. Notre Dame keeps that within a touchdown. They can still run the table and make the playoffs.
Oh, 100%. 100%. 100%. Yep. But at that point, Ray, I don't care. If y'all lost to Ohio State, I don't care then.
No, I mean, like, of course, because nobody in the Big Ten is going to beat them. So, somebody can do it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't play you guys, so I can't say that.
Do you play Ohio State this year? You don't, right? Or do you?
We play Ohio State. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Ohio State. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Notre Dame still.
No.
Yeah, we got Ohio State on November 26th. So, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be fun for you, but yeah.
I mean, hey, Ray, this is the thing. I like watching those games, the Ohio State versus Michigan games, because it tells me a lot about my team. It tells me where my team is at. And although I hate Ohio State and I hate losing to them, it's just fun. It's fun rivalry,
it's great. It's like I love
the Eagles and Cowboys. You always want to watch. You're always going to watch it, and you're always going to look forward to playing the game, even though your team, if you think your team's not good enough, it's always a fun game to watch until you get blown out. But it's always a fun game to anticipate going to because you always we're gonna get them this year. We're gonna get them this year, even though you don't. But as a fan, you think you can and you think you will. So,
I mean, here's the thing: you're going to get. You know what? Here's the thing: for Michigan fans, Penn State fans, in which I know we have a lot of them in this area, which is fine. You are going to get a good barometer on what Ohio State's defense is going to look like in this game.
Yeah,
I mean, they'll get better as the year goes on, I think, but
correct.
Notre Dame's going to go out there and they're going to try to run the ball, and they're going to try to, create good balance. They're going
Who's your running back again?
Play solid defense. What's that?
Who's your running back again?
For Notre Dame?
Yeah.
We have 3 different running backs. I think running back is the one. Chris Tyree is the number 1 guy. We have a lot of this very versatile running back group that Notre Dame has this year.
Yeah, Chris Tyree was the one I was thinking about.
He's a guy I could see him flexing out, doing some things against Ohio State out of the slot, which would be very fun. Mm-hmm. But and again, I agree with you. I don't trust Ohio State's defense. That's why I can't think that they're going to win by more than 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't like that spread for that reason.
I felt the same way about the Wisconsin. Nebraska Northwestern game last week. I picked Nebraska to win the game, but I had on Northwestern.
Yeah.
So I always like cash better than predictions.
I hear you. All right, Ray, let's get to our next game. We got 3 more left. Boise State versus Oregon State. Oregon State is favored by 2.5. They are home. Ray, I know how much you like Boise State. Are you picking up?
I am.
I'm picking Oregon State.
Okay.
I just like how I just like them building off of what they did last year. They had a very solid team last year. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they lost a lot. The quarterback, I think, is going to be a lot more promising this year. They a running team that likes to keep the ball on the ground. Boise State is historically known for their defense. I will give you that. But I just think that Oregon State, man, they have a different attitude to them. I think they have some better players on their roster, and I just trust them a little bit more. And they're home too, so that helps.
I don't trust anybody from the Pac-12, to be honest with you.
Oh,
So,
I was say you don't trust anybody from Oregon State. I'm like, geez, right?
no, I don't trust anybody from the Pac-12.
Yeah,
Chance Nolan is an okay quarterback. He is a fairly big kid.
yeah.
Hey, I just think Boise State has a better defense again, and I think they play good football. So I'll take them.
All right, so we got 2 games that are different.
Nice.
Nice.
I wanted you to take Notre Dame too.
You wanted me to? I was thinking about it, Ray. I was.
I know you are.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
I
man.
was thinking about it.
I mean, honestly, I'm glad you didn't because that means if Notre Dame wins, then I'm good.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. So we were both good on that one, that front.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with the next game. FSU versus LSU. LSU is favored by 3 with their homes, which makes it to pick them. Ray, who are you getting there? That is a good game.
Dude, you're gonna, man. There's one coach I'm going to be rooting against really hard this year, right, dude? Really, really hard. I don't see this game on my thing though.
Really?
No.
It's the Sunday night 7:30 p.m. Eastern
So
Time
it's
game.
probably down near the bottom of it. That's why.
Yeah.
Who's favored in the game, Jerome? Because I don't see it on my thing.
LSU is favored at home by 3. So, like I said, it's basically a push 'em.
I still don't see him in here. You know what? I'm going to take LSU.
Yeah. Wow, Ray. I'm taking FSU. I'm going to believe in them in this game. Probably a mistake, but I just feel like they're more talented right now. LSU is going through a quarterback change as well. If they would have kept the guy from last year, I'm blanking on his name right now, I would have had a little bit more confidence, but going in with a newer quarterback. FSU is, again, talented. The coach is on the hot seat. I want to see them play well. I do. I really want to see them play well. I think they're going to be better this year than we previously been talking about them being. Recruiting class for, it's not this year, but 2023 looks good. And there's a reason why. There's a reason why kids are going there. I just think that FSU is going to be slightly better. I think LSU, again, I picked them a lot last year, right? I really did. And I still think they're going to be pretty good this year, but I think they're not there yet. They're getting a lot of recruits too, actually. But they're not there yet. I think it's going to take until some of those recruits come in for them to be good.
You know what, Jerome? I'll be honest with you. If LSU loses that game, I won't even care because I will root against Brian Kelly. Because and you know what? Brian Kelly is a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to say he's not a good coach because he's always been a pretty good coach no matter where he's been.
Yes.
But the way he didn't badmouth the program as much as it's tradition to me, and that's where it kind of bothered me a little bit. Like you can't recruit big time recruits to Notre Dame because of this and because of that. Brian Kelly coaching down south, has he ever coached down there before? No. So how do you know he's going to be good? But I do think they're an athletic team and they have a somewhat talented roster still. I would love to pick against them, but I don't think if they lose this game, you're going to have people calling for Brian Kelly to be fired or at least rethinking if they should have hired him or not.
I think that's way too early. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout game. If that happens, then they're gonna be coming for his head already. But I think it's gonna be a good game. Maybe a field goal. Oh, that's basically what the spread is. A field goal game.
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing though. If you remember last year, Notre Dame opened up against Florida State, and they were blowing them out in the first half and won by the skin of their teeth at the end.
Yeah, true.
So we'll see. But again, we've talked about this. I think Miami is going to take a step up this year with Mario Cristobal as their coach. I still got to see Florida State do it before I'm going to say they're going to do it. So
No, you're right. You're definitely right. I agree with that. All right, let's get to our last game. I'm looking for it now. I don't know why I can't find it. Louisville versus Syracuse. Ray, who you got in that one?
I'm looking for that game. That
I
one
got it
is
right here.
Louisville.
Syracuse is at home, but Louisville is
I'm looking
favored
at
by 4.5.
Louisville in that game.
Louisville.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Louisville by a little bit, honestly. Louisville always kind of disappoints me, honestly, every time I pick them. So
They do for me too. I mean, we actually went back and forth with them last year.
Yeah,
but I do think Syracuse is a hurting program right now. So
yeah, I mean, they got a couple of guys there.
They always do.
Michael Jones is a pretty good linebacker there. He's probably gonna be picked very high next year. They got a couple of guys there, but again, their offense is always like
blah.
Yeah. So, all right, that's gonna do it for our picks. Dunn has one last question. He asked, "It's Sunday night in the Superdome." He's talking about the game. This is the question I was asking. Any games y'all think this weekend are locks? So, right, I'm gonna let you take off with this one.
Any game is a lock. Yeah, Alabama.
That's an easy choice.
They're favored by 39.
Yeah, I bet, right? They play Utah State, so
yeah. So I mean,
I don't have that spread right now, which is weird.
I don't understand why they're even playing that game. To be honest with you, this is what I mean. Like, man, people can say all they want about Big Ten teams, and they can say all they want about Notre Dame. But at least they open up with quality games, not like the SEC teams. They all want cream puffs. So
yeah, I agree with that. That's
if I had to give you a game that I felt really good about of a competitive game, I would go Pittsburgh over West Virginia.
Okay,
I would. I think their defense is good. I think their offense will get enough done. I think Kenny Pickett was an overrated player last year, so I'm going to go with that.
All right, my lock is gonna be Michigan over Colorado. Anyway, next. Oh man! But before we get off, I do want to ask you the question.
I'm surprised we didn't pick the Alabama game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you want to predict that one, Ray?
Alabama by 40.
There you go. 45. There you go.
Exactly.
Ray, I do want to ask the question because me and you kind of talked about it when we was texting, and it was kind of news. Don says, "Thanks, y'all. Thank you, Don. Thank you for being on with us, and make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate you being on, man." Michigan. Now they're doing a sort of a quarterback flip flop for the first game. So they just announced it. They didn't pick an official starter yet. They're going to use week 1 and week 2 to see who their starter is. So week 1 is going to be McNamara. Week 2 is going to be J.J. McCaffrey. And then they're going to decide who's going to be the starter at week 3.
So my question is this. Who do they play in their first 2 games?
All right. So the first game is Colorado. I just said that. And their second game is Hawaii. The third game they're playing is UConn. So UConn, they're going to figure out who's going to be there. The good thing is all 3 games are home games.
And they're all very winnable. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, when we were texting Jerome, I said to you, I don't mind the premise. Yeah. I wouldn't have broadcasted to everybody that's what it was going to be, though. I had no problem with doing it, but I wouldn't have told everybody I was doing it. I would have just
I agree with that, right? I don't like that part of it. I do like that the fact because I didn't really look at the schedule when it was announced, and I didn't realize it was 3 home games that they're trying to do this. So I'm okay with that because it's the same atmosphere. The teams are very closely matched, honestly, except for I think Hawaii's a little bit worse than Colorado. So we'll see.
Well, the thing I don't like about playing Hawaii is they don't play defense.
And that's the
They'll
thing.
score some points, but they won't play any defense.
Yeah, so
I think it's kind of hard.
It might make JJ look better than he's
correct.
Really is.
That's my point. Like where Colorado is the exact opposite. They're a defensive team. So you're gonna I like the idea of I don't mind the idea of doing it. Correct. I don't like that you told everybody that's how you were going to decide who's going to start.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. And the fact that like the competition with both teams. Now, if one was a home game, one's a road game, I'd be like, all right, no, absolutely not. That's not fair. Not good. You don't get the same atmosphere. The fact that they're on home games makes me a little bit more comfortable with it, even though like I said, the team talent is a little bit different as far as, like you said, one better on offense, one better on defense. I think it don't give you a fair kind of good shake of how good either of them going to be.
If it were me making the decision, I would have done it. I would have, like I said, I would have said, we're going to do this, but I wouldn't have told anybody. But you know what? I also would have liked maybe you give one guy the first half one game, and then give the other quarterback the second half, and then do vice versa the week after. That to me would have been a better way of evaluating both teams.
I agree with that. Either that, or you could be like, all right, I know what I got in McNamara. We went to a championship last year with him. We can do this with him. But let's see what JJ can do. So I would I'll probably give him the first 3 games and be like, all right, it didn't work out that well. McNamara's still our guy. Let's bring him in. Let's let him be the guy and then sprinkle JJ in like we kind of like did last year. I would think that would be a little bit more fair. And the thing is, too, JJ was injured all season, too, which is probably why they're doing it the way they're doing it. JJ's literally just coming back from injury. So I don't know. I don't envy them for the decision because it is a hard decision, especially when that JJ had the potential.
Say you go with McNamara. Say you go with McNamara or McCaffrey first half of the first game, and then go with the other in the second half. Now a team has a harder time adjusting at halftime because you're changing quarterbacks.
That's true too. That's
what I would have liked about it. Again, I don't mind either way. I just wouldn't have told everybody that's how I was going to do it. I would have
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But thanks for clearing that up, Ray. And I appreciate you talking about my team as always.
Are we almost done? Because I like to talk about something before we get off, though.
Yeah, we're done. You need to talk. What do you need to talk about, Ray?
All right. Well, I want to talk about Matt Araiza. It's not a great subject, and I'm sure your guys will. Avery and them guys will cover this tomorrow. At least I would hope so. And I'm only going to say this: I don't know exactly what happened. Like nobody does, except for the people involved. I will say this too. What's that?
Oh, no, I was saying correct. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, and I'm hoping that at least some of it's not true. And I don't care about Matt Araiza's punting career. I don't. I mean, I think that he is, if nothing else, he made a lot of bad mistakes, a lot of bad choices, I should say.
Correct.
Okay. He definitely has done something wrong. If only having sex with a minor is all that turns out that he did wrong, he still did that wrong. But I want to talk about how there are 2 things I hate, and we've talked about this before, Jeremy. I hate racist and I hate bullies, and these guys were both.
Yeah.
Okay, and to treat young women the way these guys were supposedly treating them, because nothing has been decided yet, is an embarrassment. And they're not men; they're Neanderthals. Okay, man. I will leave it at that. And you're supposed to have more respect for people than that. Okay, man. Like you're talking about a 17-year-old girl, and man, we all have moms. Some of us have sisters. I have a granddaughter now. I'm going to be honest with you. If it was my relative, Matt Araiza would have been waking up in the hospital the next day. Okay, and I will say that first and foremost. It doesn't matter. I know he's a big, strong. He's not that big and he's not that strong. And quite frankly, the words I want to use for him right now, I can't say because we're hoping that people will listen to us again. Okay, and to treat a young woman like that, like she's basically like a piece of meat, If he is guilty of what this stuff is and anybody else who was involved, they should go to jail for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I know that's not what's going to happen. It's not. But we need to start thinking about like how to I don't understand. Like I think a lot of guys respect women. I know I do. Again, I'm married to one. We all have moms. I have family members that are girls. And to even think about what these guys have supposedly did to this young girl makes me sick. It really does. It just makes me sick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
To bully someone because they're weaker than you, you're not a man. I'm sorry, you're not. It's that simple. You're not. And these guys, whatever they did, however they were involved, because I hear a lot of things about Matarez's family defending him now. Like, man, again, I don't know what happened, but he at least made a lot of bad decisions. And for these parents to come out and say, oh, we've been this and we've been that, think about if it was your daughter. How would you feel?
Yeah.
Think about that. I would just like for people to put themselves in that person's shoes, in that girl's shoes. Like that girl you could have literally, if this is true, what I read a police report, 2 of them the other night. And if any of this is true, you may have ruined this girl's life forever. Then there's no money. There's no money you can get involved in any lawsuit that's going to make up for that.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. Like, I mean, again, I'm embarrassed to call myself a football fan right now because of the way these guys acted. I really am.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm done. I'm better than that. I hope the guys that are listening to this program right now are better than that, because I know there are some guys that think of girls as they're objects. Well, if you think of a girl as an object, dude, then you know what? I don't want nothing to do with you. Period. I look at it all the same. I think you're a racist, you're a bully. Yeah. You at least, if nothing else, you looked at this girl like she was not as valuable as you or not as important as you. And again, I hope to God that it's not true. But then part of me says, well, if it's not true that this girl made all of this stuff up, that's kind of scary too, to be honest with you, that a girl would make up that story. But I read the police report. Somebody did a lot of bad things to this young woman. And honestly, again, if it were my relative or my whatever it is, I'm not going to say my daughter because I never had a daughter. But again, I do have a mom. I have sisters. I have a granddaughter. I have a daughter-in-law. I have a lot of great women involved in my life. And I respect every one of them. Period.
Yeah. I will say that I'm very ignorant to the situation. I have very little knowledge or information. I just know that he got cut. I just heard that it was an underage sexual situation with multiple men. I don't know the full story. I will say this. I agree with everything that you said, Ray. I really do. But also, how did this get missed by not only the NFL, but what school he's from? Something State.
San Diego State.
San Diego State.
Yep.
To where the fact that nobody hears about this until now. That's the disgusting part for me. And I know everybody is innocent until proven guilty. But I will say this. When you have a case like this, can we use more caution? Can we really look into what's going on? Can people be more open about what's going on? Because it's not fair that, we have somebody in our sport that is being glorified. Because Matt Reza, for him to be a punter he was getting pretty glorified, being on NFL Network, featured, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
that's
for
my
us
point.
to,
I'm like, part of it is, again, I'm a little embarrassed to say that I'm a college football fan right now because you're talking about college kids who did whatever they did. And, we're as fans, I don't want to say we're responsible, but we are responsible for this kid's ego. The punning God. That's what we were hearing. This guy is a punning God. Well, you know what, man? I pray to God every day, and no one on earth is God. Okay, period. All right.
Yeah. So that's my biggest worry. That this young girl, if true, and again, like Ray said, hope it's not true. It's hard to say it's not true, especially with all the allegations. And again, I'm very ignorant with the situation, so I don't know everything. But for this girl to have to go on TV and see this guy over her TV when she, if that is true and what's going on, and that she had to see this man on TV a lot, it's very disturbing to think about that. So I'll just say that. I mean, I'm gonna end my point with that. I'm just saying that can we have more caution when these situations come out and stop trying to hide it all the time? Because yes, again, you're innocent until proven guilty, but at the same time, there's situations and parents and fans and stuff like that, like you say, glorifying this guy, and he turns out to be, if proven right, to be this type of guy. So can we?
Well, I'm not going to get into all the allegations, but I did read the police report, and honestly, Jerome, if 60% of this is real, then all 3 or 4 or 5 of these guys should all be locked up. And the fact that here's what bothers me about it. Like, I didn't hear nothing about this until last week. But some teams did, because this guy was projected to be a top 3 or 4 round pick, and he didn't go to like the 5th or the 6th round. And there was 2 players taken before him. So you know as well as I do, some of these teams knew this information.
Somebody knew something.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why, man, Jerome, if you get a chance, Google it. Look at the report. I mean, the things that you hear about this, these guys, if they did this, they are not men, dude. They're animals. Okay? And they should be treated like such.
Definitely. Well, that's going to do it for us today, guys. We started to end it on that kind of note, but it was definitely important to talk about. And Ray, I do.
Well, the reason why I brought it up for 2 reasons. For one, I thought we should bring it up because technically they're still college athletes.
Correct.
And Minor Reyes is never going to play in the NFL now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless everything – the worst case scenario or best case scenario is he's at least guilty of having sex with a minor. Now, he'll recover from that. He will. Somebody down the road will be like, okay, well, he made one big mistake, but it was like, guys make that mistake. We've all been young guys. We've all, made mistakes. And I will say this also. Nothing good comes from drinking too much. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Every big mistake I've ever made in my life, and thank God I had never made mistakes this big, but even when I was younger, most of the mistakes that I'd made came from drinking too much. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that, man. It happens. Like you get a little bit too much to drink, guys will be guys. I'm not going to say men will be men because men don't act like that. Okay, I would never impose myself on anybody, especially not a young girl. No one.
I agree.
All right. Well, that's all.
But yeah, let's end it because
this is one of them, like the Dark Side of the Rings type stories, man. To be honest, it really is.
Yeah, and it's hard for us because we don't know the full story.
I don't understand. Here's the one thing. Here's the other thing. This girl supposedly went to the hospital the very next day, and we didn't find out about it for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
Yeah. And apparently, unless the Bills was okay to kind of find out what's going on, maybe the Bills didn't know, and that's
Well,
crazy.
I think what may again, I don't know. Maybe the Bills thought, well, as far as we know, all he did was have sex with a minor. Again, as bad as it is, if it's consensual sex, I mean, it's still wrong, but it's not criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what these guys did was criminal. All right. So
correct. Anyway, guys, thank y'all for checking us out. I always hate to end it like that, but it's part of sports world.
I honestly debated if I was going to bring it up or not, but I just thought, well, I know your guys are going to cover it tomorrow. They always have to. They got to at least bring it up and at least speak about it. But again, I thought, well, maybe we should because again, we're talking about college athletes, and that's what we do. So
Yeah. Definitely. No, I'm thank you, Ray. Thanks for bringing it up. Hopefully we bring some awareness to our viewers about the situation and, hopefully they learn from it and, learn not to do the same and make the same mistakes. So, but that'll do it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for checking us out. Make sure you hit us up on all social media inside the hashes on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure you hit that notification button on YouTube and when we go live, you can do your live comments like our guy Don. Thanks for coming in. Ray, Chris, Remy, thank you guys for coming in. We do appreciate y'all, even though y'all Ohio State fans. Had to
go Irish.
Go Irish for real. Go Irish. Guys, if you can go right there, make sure you hit that. I'm getting close to it right now, right?
Right there, you're good.
Right there.
You're good.
Hit that. Yes, sir. Hit that QR code so you can follow all our social media and find where to find us. Our Air That Podcast is gonna be broadcasting tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. They're gonna be talking about a lot of the cuts and ads and all that stuff, the trades that have been going on. So make sure you hit that notification on our YouTube so you can watch that. I know Ray's gonna be watching it. I know I'm gonna be watching it. So make sure you go check that. So
absolutely.
Guys, thank y'all so much for checking us out. I'm Jerome Jones. This is Ray Roberts. Ray, you have anything to close on?
No, just said it was a fun week 0. I'm looking forward to week 1. And then next week the NFL starts, and then I'm already seeing some high school kids practicing, some township kid. I believe it or not, I was driving home today from work, and I just stopped and stood at the field watching the little kids play for practice for like an hour. Oh, so cool. I kind of missed that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Ray, I totally forgot that you guys haven't even started high school yet because we're about to go on week 3 already down here.
Yeah, we haven't started it at all yet. Yeah, I still see like the the unlimited 125 pounders over here. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, I forgot this was going on already because, of course, when I was involved a little bit when Ryan was small. But I just drove by. I was like, man, let me just sit here and watch it. You know what, man?
Yeah.
It does. That's the thing about me. High school, college, pee-wee, it doesn't matter, man. It's all football. And honestly, this is why I love college football. This is why I love high school football. These kids play because they love the sport.
Yeah.
I do. So,
I agree. But that's going to do it for us today, guys. We also love the sport, and I hope you love the sport too. And this is the spot to check us out. Your favorite college football podcast, RPO podcast. I'm Jerome Jones. That's Ray Roberts. Thank you guys for checking us out. And we out. See you next week.